I was struck by lightning walking down the street. I was hit by something last night in my sleep. It's a dead man's party. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming. Leave your body at the door. Leave your body and soul at the door. Welcome back to Blackjack for a very special Halloween death battle. We have DIO versus Alucard. And this has been promised to us for years. And they finally told us about it last year during a werewolf battle. So, yeah, we have been waiting for this for a very long time. All I really know, I watched Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, and yeah. I know Takahata is voicing Alucard in this, so we might as well just get started. Woo!
DIO Brando, everlasting adversary of the Joestar bloodline.
Alucard, undying enforcer of the Hellsing organization.
Vampires,
Neat.
the spawn of nightmares formed from the blackest pits of man's demented imagination.
Anime, basically the same thing. When you get when you combine them, two of the meanest monsters out there. He's
Did I ever tell you guys I have ancestors in
And
Transylvania?
their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death
That's true.
battle.
Neat. No.
Imagine, if you can, someone so wicked
If
that
I
the
can.
sheer magnitude of their unholy dickishness literally destroyed the universe.
You might think they'd have to be no less than the devil himself, but it was him, DIO.
Born a
Knew they were gonna do it.
cunning mind in the slums of Victorian London, DIO was humiliated.
Was
by
down
his
too
father
long in the
and
midnight
abused by
sea.
his alcoholic father.
His bitter resentment and small dick energy would lead to a lifelong desire for ultimate power and immortality, to reach a place over heaven.
And he'd get his chance to act when he was adopted into the wealthy Joestar family. DIO
Sure, why not?
kill his new father, George Joestar, and take his fortune for himself. Only one thing stood in his way.
His
new
brother? Yep.
Jonathan Joestar, a.k.a. Jojo.
He's supposed to be like 15 there, right?
Alpha Wolf on Jojo by engaging in such classic sibling pranks as beating him up, molesting his girlfriend, and setting his dog on fire.
Yep.
You give that creepy dog murderer what for, Jojo?
But after
I
years of
remember there
emotional
was a thread that was like,
manipulation,
this
Dio's
this
twisted
Dio guy
assassination
can't
plot
be
was foiled
that
by his
bad.
rival stepbrother.
Oh no!
Very Speedwagon. All seemed lost until Dio pulled out his Plan B, an ancient stone mask that turned him into a vampire.
Of course it did.
Just bizarre.
He just
Okay, so he's not
had
technically
it.
a vampire like, say, Dracula. Instead of turning you into an unholy demon, the stone mask eliminates your body's natural limitations.
Making him way stronger,
Gotcha.
faster, and tougher than any human. He can hear
That's a
heartbeat
hell of a
through
shot.
The ground, fly through the air, and hypnotize you with just a glance.
It gets
All
weirder.
right.
Dio can create mind-controlling flesh buds from his hair follicles, vaporize the moisture in his body to freeze anything he touches, and fire beams of pressurized fluids that can split the sky.
Pressurized
So
fluids.
it's like those blood squirting
sometimes
frogs,
it's
but
too easy whiz.
lasery.
Even more insane is Dio's healing factor. He's been burnt alive, impaled through the head, bisected, decapitated, lost limbs, filled with bullets, and had a huge hole punched in his chest. Not once,
Neat.
not twice, but 3 times.
Another
Gotcha.
similar vampire, Straight, survived being blown to pieces and just pulled himself back together.
All right
Dio
then.
needs is some blood to speed up the process, so he is basically a vampire. Though I guess the
Somewhat.
fangs are just for decoration because he sucks blood through his fingers.
Oh my.
Dio used his powers to raise
Speaking
a zombie
of,
army
you know
to
who should
conquer
be in a
the
death
world
battle?
and
Cyber
feed a
6.
baby to its own mother.
And anyone remember
Just for
Cyber
kicks.
6?
We've had a lot of real
Should be a
pieces
lot of
of
fun
shit
in
on
that
this show,
battle.
Wiz, but I'm starting to think Dio takes the cake. Luckily, his plans were foiled again by his old frenemy Jojo.
Except all I can think of for her is
who beat Dio's ass
Batwoman,
with a
and I
martial
don't think
art
that's a
that
very good
uses the
match.
power of the
I don't
sun.
know.
Hamon.
Because, should Dio's vampire body be subjected to sunlight, he will instantly disintegrate.
But he can be out
Did
in
Dio
moonlight,
do? Well,
which
he
is just
cut off his own
reflected
head,
sunlight.
killed Jonathan on his wedding night and attached his head to Jojo's body.
Of course.
Now, cake taken for sure.
After a brief century in a coffin at the bottom of the ocean, Dio
Okay. Really wish Something something used all his vampire powers since acquiring Joseph's body. There's no evidence that says he can't use them anymore, especially after drinking Joseph's blood. Okay, has not used them.
Over the world. His ultimate goal was to create a world where everyone knew their own fate and could make peace with the inevitable tragedies life had in store. In Dio's mind, heaven.
And he'd make it happen no matter how many breads he'd have to eat.
After being struck by a mystical arrow, sure, why not? Dio gained a stand, the embodiment of a user's life force.
Gotcha.
Since they're made of psychic energy, stands can only be seen by stand users, and can only be hurt by other stands. Quite the obstacle for any opponent lacking similar abilities.
Ow. Hey, look, Wiz, I got a stand. I call it 99 bottles. Oh, shit.
Hold on.
Don't worry, Wiz. I'll change you back with your Ooh, look, a giant beer.
Of course.
As befits a god among
and he's
men,
just back.
Dio received one of the most powerful stands in history, the World, with its ability to stop time.
You gotta say it.
Thanks for the ow. Well, not only does
oh no, we will have none of that, Boomstick.
As much as he likes. He's a massive troll.
The world is absurdly strong in
Okay, physical range 10 meters. That's kind of a small limit for something described as having overwhelming strength and speed. So with overwhelming speed, but a physical range, does that mean when it moves around, it carries it with it? Or is it 10 meters from right when it uses it? Thought
able to
activated.
match the stand Star Platinum, which belongs to Jonathan's great-great-grandson, Jotaro Kujo. He
Who we remember
inherited it from
previous
Dio
battle.
through Jonathan's body and bloodline, making Star Platinum and the world the same stand.
And both are two of the strongest.
Well, that said the same kind. So, let us second. Come on.
Stone free.
Really, really wish that it would let me view this without the bullshit title covering it. The time stop length maxed out at 11 seconds upon Dio's death and was increasing by 2 seconds each time he used it after fully merging with Jonathan's body. Interesting.
Which can punch meteors that were pulled to Earth in seconds.
By measuring the distance the meteors are from Earth, we can estimate they were moving at over 11 million meters per second. Factoring in their mass, they'd each have a kinetic energy of 441 kilotons of TNT.
Here's size
Crazy
about
when you
Jolene's
can throw
head.
Punches that are faster than light. No,
To
really,
each
Star
other,
Platinum kept
right?
up with this stand, Silver Chariot, which could cut a beam of light.
Looking
Cool.
at the interval Silver Chariot's sword swung relative to the light beam, it must have moved over 1,500 times the speed of light.
Interesting.
And Dio himself has matched Star Platinum on his own, and taken its punches head on.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to Dio's secret weapon, the greatest weapon in anime history. The Steam Dio's a hell of a chef. He can make pancakes and donuts.
Even so, despite having a massive god complex,
Okay. Punch Jotaro across Cairo in seconds. Okay. Tank to ship exploding as just ahead. Well, you know, it is how you get ahead in the world. Device the stand made in heaven. There was one thing I remember people talking about, something called Over Heaven, that apparently would be Dio's only way to win this matchup. But it's apparently also not canon, and it only exists in one video game.
Dio's still a careful tactician, capable of exploiting an opponent's weaknesses.
Neat.
Too bad he wasn't prepared for Jotaro to learn how to stop time too and murder the shit out of him.
Cool.
That's some hardcore karma right there. But it only makes sense that a dog murderer would die like a bitch.
But much like the machinations of great and terrible men, Dio's will was immortal. In time,
Yeah,
his
don't say-
greatest follower succeeded in extinguishing the Joestar bloodline and literally remaking the universe in Dio's image.
Oh yeah, that's
creating heaven.
people keep wanting Poochie to go up against Cyrus, and the thought of Cyrus in death battle is just extraordinarily hilarious to me. Especially because, as a man, and probably even as a god, if what we saw in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is any indication, he is a below average human.
He always dreamed of.
I guess when you're named after a rock star, a movie star, and, oh, that's right, God, you're pretty much bound for greatness.
You thought your first kiss would be JoJo, but it was I, Dio.
So that's the context of it was I, Dio. I just like all ads. Go away. All right.
Blessed are some people whose lives have no fears, no dreads. For though the world seems full of good men, there are monsters in it.
Well,
But don't worry, jolly old England has
really
it covered
anyone
with the
without
Helsing
fear?
Organization.
Founded by famous
Unless you
vampire
have, like,
hunter Abraham Van
some
Helsing and led by his
chemical
descendant
disorder or
Integrity,
something.
This secret government institution has saved the world time and again with their secret weapon.
And what better weapon to hunt vampires than with one of their very own, the no-life king, the Bird of Hermes, Alucard.
Woo!
His origin was shrouded in mystery. But
Kill
as
count
a
millions.
boy, he was molded into
Was a little girl during
made
World
even
War
more
II.
vicious by his intense hatred of his fellow vampire kind.
A hatred that he expresses with two of the gnarliest handguns you'll ever pray to your infinite god to never see in person.
Alucard's primary sidearm is the Castle, a behemoth of a handgun able to kill most undead in one shot with holy bullets that can nullify a vampire's healing factor.
Cool,
The
cool.
Jackal is the handgun she told you not to worry about. 16 inches long and weighing 35 pounds. It's armor-piercing, hollow point
The
bullets,
fuck?
bracketed in blessed Macedonian silver, were built to annihilate the toughest monsters.
And after decades of clandestine experimentation, Helsing enhanced Alucard's vampiric
The
abilities.
toughest
far
monsters
beyond
shows
normal.
Anderson.
Alucard can walk through walls, cast illusions, levitate, and move objects with his mind. Objects like, say, an ocean of over 3 million people's blood? That'd be an energy
Yeah.
worth half a ton of TNT.
His psychic prowess allows him to
That's
read
it?
minds,
Just half a
communicate
ton?
telepathically, hypnotize with a glance, and see through hallucinations with his third eye.
He's not a Triclops. It's more of a sixth sense that lets him hit bullseyes from a kilometer away
Cool,
and even
cool.
predict your movements. Kind of like the Sharon gun.
Of course, he wouldn't be a real
Which we would
vampire
have to
if he
remember
couldn't
from a
drink
way
blood.
previous
the catch
episode.
Is, when he drinks enough blood to kill you, he literally absorbs your soul.
Cool.
That right there is the source of his most fearsome ability.
You just can't kill the sumbitch. Shoot him into Swiss cheese, blow his ass to smithereens,
Love
turn him
beam.
into a literal blood puddle, he'll just regenerate his body lickety-split. Like, we've seen some overpowered healing factors on this show before, but Alucard's is just bullshit.
Yep.
While he does possess blood and organs like a regular human, Alucard's
Regular
body is
human
in
has to be
reality composed of an
quantified.
ethereal shadow-like substance that he can morph any way he wants.
Cool.
This allows him to shapeshift and instantly heal any wound. And each soul Alucard has consumed acts as an extra life that he can spend whenever he's fatally injured. Kind of like a video game.
And after 500
Awesome.
years of unlife, Alucard has consumed literally millions of souls. Ora!
Cool.
Yay, more beer!
Just like me.
Ora! Helsing needed a beast as fearsome as Alucard to take on Millennium, aka Nazi vampires. That's like evil squared.
Like when Millennium SS Lieutenant Rip Van Winkle commandeered a British aircraft carrier as part of an invasion of London.
Alucard didn't like that very much, so he jackknifed it with an SR-71
Cool.
Blackbird at Mach 3.
A fully loaded
Awesome.
Blackbird weighs 170,000 pounds, meaning it's struck with a kinetic energy of 11 tons of TNT.
And he just got
That's
out.
as powerful as the U.S. Massive Ordnance Air Blast.
AKA the mother of all bombs, and Al was in the middle
Take
of that
damage
and
and simply
strolled out
heal
like it
before
was
emerging.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just as impressive as intercepting Rip's magic bullets. Comparing the distance one bullet moved to the jet in the same time frame as the jet's own movement, each bullet would have to be moving at 1,500 times the speed of sound.
Cool.
And Alucard caught one with his friggin' teeth. And after giving Rip's name a new meaning, he took an aircraft carrier back to shore with his mind to fight two separate armies at the same time.
Awesome.
What a goddamn monster!
It goes without saying that Alucard's immense power and bloodlust needed to be controlled, so 6 restriction levels were placed on him that he can release against dangerous opponents.
Level 6 through 2 are for wrecking your ordinary ghouls. Level 1 is for your heavy-duty vampires, and for getting this gnarly demon doggo.
You know, I know I seem like I'm not really reacting, but it's because I'm actually trying to pay attention to this shit. The abridged really did make me want to watch the actual series, but I haven't yet, so... I think some of my breakfast might have gone down the wrong pipe. Oh. Okay.
From his shadow essence, Baskerville.
But
Cool.
there exists an even greater state of power.
Because I know
Alucard
there's
released when he
Helsing
wants
and there's
to
Helsing
end the
Ultimate.
world. Level 0.
Once activated, Level 0 releases every single soul Alucard has consumed as a sea of blood-soaked zombies. All 3 million of them.
Sure, with
And then
his
he still
soul
uses their
gone,
lives,
can't
doesn't he?
heal as easily, and if his heart is destroyed, he'll die permanently. But the sheer numbers and power of this army from hell makes
Hang
it
on a
virtually
second.
impossible.
No. I want to know about that thing that'll kill him.
Million of them.
Sure, with his souls gone, he can't heal as
Ah.
easily, and if his heart is destroyed, he'll die permanently. But
Okay,
the
so
sheer
that's
numbers
his-
and power of
that's
this
his
army
defeat
from hell
condition.
makes him virtually impossible to approach in the first place.
He's unstoppable. This guy's got to be like the king of all vampires.
Indeed, he
Yep.
is. Helsing purposely kept Alucard's true identity a secret, all in the codename. Alucard backwards is
Dracula? Yeah, duh, Wiz, idiot.
over 500 years ago. The Wallachian Voivode Vlad Dracula battled the Ottoman Turks for control over Eastern Europe and impaled thousands of people in the process.
Yep.
That's his historical name, Vlad the Impaler.
But things didn't end up too good for him. Right before his execution, he took a big old sip of some blood from the battlefield, sacrificing his humanity in order to become an
Cool.
immortal creature of the night.
And that is when the legend was born.
Well, that's how you do it, huh?
Dracula was proud of. He grew to despise his monstrous nature and saw it as cowardice. The main reason he hated other vampires so much was that he really hated himself.
Well,
Oh, that's deep, Wiz. Maybe that's why he always lets his enemies
so
slip into
the
him.
abridged didn't make that up. He actually is full of
His
self-loathing.
crazy OP healing factor will fix everything anyways.
Millennium would exploit this arrogance by tricking Alucard into absorbing the soul and abilities of Schrödinger, a German cat boy who controls his own quantum state. This
I
grants
see.
him pseudo-omnipresence and immortality. He can exist everywhere and nowhere, and cannot die so long as he can recognize his own existence.
I
But
see.
because Al had 3 million souls kicking around inside him, Schrödinger couldn't recognize himself anymore, forcing him, and thus Alucard, to fade out of existence.
So
I
Alucard
see.
spent 30 years killing the other 3 million souls inside of him until he could return to reality and his master.
So
He
that's
owns
why he did it.
his own unexistence.
No matter how spoopy the threat, Alucard will show no mercy. He's just waiting
Somewhere
for the day he
Kefka
meets a
feels even
noble
more
human
bitter than
warrior
usual.
Strong enough to end his unlife for good.
But should he face a fellow monster, a fool who rejected their humanity like himself, he'll let loose the dogs of war, and all hell will sing.
I'm a dog. Then you're dog food.
Not exactly the badass line you would expect from him.
Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, if you want the
No.
same kind of confidence that lets you try to take over the world with
No, no. Shut. For God's sakes, come on. No. Also, people are predicting Antfish might be the voice for Dio. And I think that would be absolutely hilarious. More ads! Come on. No. Stop it. Couldn't they time it to be... No. I disapprove of all ads. No. I shall do no such thing.
You're using hydroelectricity,
Oh,
and
stop it.
hydroelectricity puts 0 carbon into the air.
Stop it. Okay, so, I mean, it seems like the only way Alucard can be killed is if he does, release all of the souls, and then Dio somehow manages to get to him. Even dropping a meteor on the battlefield wouldn't be enough, I don't think, to wipe out, you know, millions and millions and millions of souls. And Alucard could conceivably just keep fighting Dio until daybreak. It looks like it's sunset here. I'm just going to go with what people who know JoJo better than I do say, and say that, because people have said that Dio's only real chance of winning is something called Over Heaven, which he doesn't canonically have, so...
You interrupted my dinner.
Funny, I was just thinking about having mine.
Then by all means,
Well, it's not at fish.
take a bite.
Fight! Got some Marvel vs. Capcom looking sprites for their fight. Remember when Marvel vs. Capcom was really good?
Checkmate! How oh so very weak, dog. You thought
Oh.
you would triumph, but it was I. Dio?
Dio?
I'm a dog. Your dog poop.
See, it even sounds better coming out of Taka. Come on. You gotta have all the mimetic stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. Do this. This is already probably the best battle either of them have had in ages. I wonder how many, like, can it control how many he releases at a time?
A real fucking vampire.
I am liking that. Of course, you gotta have the Elizabeth Tower somewhere in there, huh? Oh, neat. A sword fight involving the giant clock face. That is inventive.
You want blood, you disgusting monster?
Oh, yeah?
Choke on your own.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah? What can he do in that amount of time, though? There's the heart. Is that gonna actually be enough, though? I guess that's the question.
Vampire King, bow to your new god!
No, I don't think I will.
Is my name. Eating my wings to make me tame.
Oh, yeah? Frickin' hell! I thought he already pulled his heart out, though. Didn't he do that a while before? Damn.
Alucard pulled out all the stops, but like the bloody dragon.
Where were the 3 million souls? Come on.
Finger guns.
He may have been the king of the vampires in Hellsing, but Dio had everything he needed to clip the bird of Hermes' wings.
Alucard's strategy in most fights is to heal from an opponent's attacks until they get tired, then take advantage of an opening. But he couldn't do that here because Dio didn't really have any openings. And Alucard
So it's the same problem as
Alucard could survive
Beast versus Goliath again.
1,500 times faster than sound. But scaling from Stone Free and Silver Chariot, the world could punch relativistic meteors and move 1,500 times faster than light.
I was kind of expecting all of London to get destroyed here.
Stronger and 800,000 times faster than Alucard.
Dang.
Well, Alucard couldn't even see or hurt the world in the first place because he's not a stand user. And since Stone vampires from JoJo aren't weak to holy weapons like Helsing vampires are, Al's guns were more or less dead weight.
Plus, Alucard just had no way to get past the time stop. Even if he did somehow, Dio could just freeze him on contact.
And considering Dio has taken punches from Star Platinum, Hal would have had trouble doing damage even if he got the chance.
Dio's far greater speed and power meant that, given
intangible
enough time,
opponents,
he could realistically kill Alucard 3 million times in quick succession, without any viable options for attack or openings to exploit.
Not think
Alucard's
to.
soul-based regeneration meant he would run out of lives.
You would think he would
and
realize that this guy would have a regular vampire. Well, I guess then again, he's not a regular vampire. Basically human, yeah. Yeah.
Better the time Dio's eye beams split those huge-ass clouds.
Estimating the size of the clouds and the speed at which they moved, Dio's beams must have output an energy of over 10 megatons of TNT. Enough to wipe out Alucard's army in one go.
Really?
Vulnerable. Just like when this other vampire, Walter, could have killed him by piercing his heart. Alucard's even admitted it himself.
I see.
Hell, Alucard's army is filled with blood. You know, that thing that Dio uses to heal?
What is that art style?
With his powers, Al can't die unless he chooses to.
While Schrodinger's quantum immortality makes him impossible to kill normally, it is literally part of the story that Alucard cannot have Schrodinger's abilities and his greater array of powers at the same time.
I
Or
see.
else he'll no longer exist. We can't give him both Schrodinger and his standard powers without breaking the lore and rules of the character.
Even if we did,
So he's gonna have to come back in 30 years then.
help him kill Dio at all, so at best it'd be a stalemate. Until Dio hypnotizes Alucard, asks him about his powers, and forces him to eject Schrody like the rest
I
of his
see.
souls.
Shocking though it may be, Dio's overwhelming offense, impenetrable defense, and uniquely devastating abilities wore Alucard down until the No-Life King had no lives left.
Alucard got Dioned!
Boomstick, you tell the worst puns in the world.
That's right, and you're just gonna have to Dio with it. And hey, wait a minute, that was a pun. That's my territory. I'm talking about this.
The winner is Dio.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
All right,
for
let's
watching the
see.
show. We really hope you enjoyed that episode of Death Battle. If you're
Tom Schulk. Okay. I do not know him.
looking for something else to watch right now, just click the
What are we gonna see next?
Check
What are we
out
gonna
Red
see
vs.
next?
Blue Family Shatters,
Next one's
Red
gonna
vs.
be-
Blue Zero,
no,
who gets up
next
to
one's
all
gonna be the
wacky antics. It's really fun. A lot of people
day
really
after
enjoy it.
Komori
Also
Con,
works
so-
on the show, so give it a watch. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Akuma versus. Ooh, that is not the fight I was expecting Akuma to be in. People were guessing all kinds of people for him, but goodness. Okay, so Akuma has fought from Mortal Kombat before, and Shao Kahn has fought from Street Fighter before. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. This is probably going to be a lot more fair ground than either of the previous battles. Akuma went up against Shang Tsung, and that was just a beatdown of epic proportions. And then they put Shao Kahn against Bison, who I think is overall stronger, but his very specific weakness is Shao Kahn's very specific strength. So, yeah. You don't take a guy whose primary weapon is his own soul and put him up against a guy who eats souls. I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say, yeah. I actually have like a lot of stuff to do today. Like I said, Komori Con is coming up, so I have to be I have to get my costumes all ready for that. I'm going to be the shopkeeper from Untitled Goose Game. I have a big old anti-goose placard that I'm going to carry around with me. I'm going to be Murph from Pokemon Ranger. I have not had the best of luck with that costume because nobody knows who the hell Murph is. But I need something that I can do the... I'm going to be running the Pokemon Fans Get-Together panel. So I hope to see all of you there. But by all of you, I mean, do any of you actually go to KomoriCon? I know one of you does. Okay, well, I don't really have much to say, because, like I said, my knowledge of Hellsing is basically the abridged series, and they were pulling out a lot of stuff that I had absolutely no idea. My knowledge of JoJo is basically there's a whole hell of a lot of band references, including the band I was singing at the very beginning. Except for some reason, then they changed like a whole bunch of them in the English dub, and I don't know why. Does anyone ask these bands if it's... I can't imagine that anybody in Oingo Boingo would have an actual problem with this. I mean, the show Archer had characters named Oingo and Boingo. So... They were bank robbing clowns, however, so that might have been a little more up the relevant alleys. Okay, so yeah, lack of familiarity with the series. I'm more familiar with Street Fighter. I do not have my World Warrior Encyclopedia on me, though. However, I also recognize that it's very dated by this point. It doesn't have anyone from 5. Anything like that. I don't think I've actually played a Mortal Kombat game since, like, arcade days, but I've watched people play 9, 10, and 11. I know that there's, like, a Naruto versus Bleach battle set up this season. I do not know either of the characters. I think one of them's named Itachi. What the... Why did my screen just go black? Okay. I don't know the name of the other one, and I'm just guessing on that one. So, I don't know either of those series. I know I said after Ichigo versus Naruto that I would want to... It made me want to watch them. I still haven't, because both of those series are long as fuck. And, I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything better with my time, but at the same time, you know, anime access costs money, so... If I can't pick it up via osmosis, I have a very hard time. So... I am just gonna stop this for now, and I will talk with you all in... Well, I'll be making a video at the con, if not multiples. You know, I'll probably be making videos in between those times as well. But if you only come here for my death battle reactions, then I will see you all in 2 weeks. Until next time, I am Blackjack Aviani, and who could ask for more?